Hi guys, so today, actually this week, the reviewed game will be this one. Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. Now, this, I could start reviewing this game by analyzing the facets that we can see here, the multiplayer, the VR, data saver, which is campaign data, viewing your latest missions in detail, compiling data in order to obtain the maximum amount of performance from your planes. You know, a lot of things. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say just this. This game is beautiful, okay? This game has a lot to say in regards to what a flight simulator can be on a PlayStation 4. I hope that this game comes out on the PlayStation 5, but Ace Combat 8, I guess. I really hope so, because this is well worth the time. As you can see here, you have a lot of maps available to you. The more missions you complete, the more maps will be available. So, what you can see here is actually not the maximum amount of maps. Also, I quite possibly won't have all of the airplanes available. As you can see here, I don't have the most advanced F-22A, the YF-23, the Su-57. I don't have these planes because I haven't reached all that far on the campaign mode. But you know, we'll do with what we have. And before people start saying, "Oh, every plane is the same," no, they're not. Believe me, you cannot take a plane more developed to be air versus ground onto an air skirmish. It will simply not work as intended. You're not going to be as maneuverable as a dogfighter. As you can see, I have quite a few planes available for me. So I have the F-104C. This is a very old plane, one of the first jets actually. It's an interceptor. It's nicknamed as Starfighter. Even in real life it was called Starfighter. Basically, you can still see these planes being used by NASA. No, not for starfighter combats in outer space, but for training of cadets and pilots. The A-10C, the Thunderbolt 2, or Warhog, as it was called more commonly. This is not an all-purpose plane. As you can see on the right-hand side, you have the specifications of each plane. Let's compare the F-04 that you can see has a lot of speed, not a lot of maneuverability. Stability also leaves a lot to be desired, but it's more for air-to-air than air-to-ground. While on the A-10C, it's not a very fast ship, not very mobile. It has a ton of stability. It's horrendous for air-to-air, but exceptional for air-to-ground. F-2A. Now, this is almost a copy of the F-16 Fighting Falcon. As you can see, it's more for air-to-air than air to ground, but it has also good performance on air to ground, so an all-around good good plane. F-14D, exceptional for air to air, but horrendous for air to ground. F-16C, also very good for air to air, not as good as to air to ground. The Mirage 2000, it's a very very good plane, all around, very fast, very mobile, very good for air to air, but it doesn't shy away from air to ground combat. And of course you have the MiGs. This is a very old model, the MiG-21 Fishbed and the MiG-29A Fulcrum. As you can see, both of them are more for air to air than air to ground. So if you have a dogfighting mission, yeah, take these, take the F-16, something along those lines. Don't take an A-10, see, because it won't have the performance you will need. So let's take, for example, the good old F-2A. Then you have to pick and choose specialized weapons. Now you will always have air-to-air missiles, and the and of course the machine gun for up and close dogfighting. But you have these missiles, long-range air-to-surface missiles, that you cannot target air units with these missiles, mind you. High-speed air-to-air missiles and rockets. Now, rockets, guided bombs, they're specific for certain planes. Since this will be a dogfighter mission, let's take the missile. As you can see, graphics wise, this game is exceptional. It's very, very, very good for a very old game. So this game almost has 6 years. It was launched right at the beginning of the PlayStation 4 run. As you can see, you have a lot of view options, cockpit and outside views. Now, what did I just pick? What I picked was a jungle environment, but you have a lot of types of sorties. Now, camera-wise, as you can see with the D-pad, the camera is a little wonky. Sometimes it's a little insane. But, well, you can live without it, actually. Of course, you get to fire your weapons. Now, I've chosen the free flight mode. And the free flight mode, you don't actually have enemies to fight. Let's push the envelope and go for broke. So this is the maximum altitude that you can get in this game. Let's increase the speed and try to lift a little bit more. No, this is the maximum. Now this seems a little bit boring to you guys, but I didn't pick combat mission. I'll show you a combat mission in a moment. Now, as you can see, graphics wise, this game is exceptional for a very old game. Of course, better games are already available in the market. For example, Star Wars, the Star Wars that was launched last winter. As you can see, this is a very jungle-like Amazonian map. Of course, you can pre-program I just finished the combat, so we can get out faster and show you real combat. Now, performance-wise, this game is stupendous for a 7-year-old game. It's the performance of your controller. It's very responsive. The plane really banks and rolls and do all the maneuvers that you want. Mind you that sometimes you really have to play with wind, windy conditions, storm conditions that will add new layers of difficulty to the mission.
Surprise attacks carried out after the declaration of war saw the peacekeeping forces of various countries, including Osea, suffer major damage.
As you can see, in this game you don't play in the real world. You don't play on planet Earth. You play on an alternate Earth that is divided in two nations, Osea and Erosia. So,
Kestrel 2 is now preparing to launch another attack against Erusia's capital, Farbanti. The aircraft carrier Vulture
as you can see, it has no similarity to our world.
So it's sailing empty. Today, the International Union Peacekeeping Force reclaims its bid to the space elevator. The Fort Gray's Island Air Base Squadron will rendezvous with the carrier Vulture for a joint mission.
You shouldn't do this. You should listen to your briefing until the end. Just in case it is needed, I'm going to take rockets this time, just so you guys see, performance-wise, what the ships can do.
Mage Squadron, aircraft preparations complete.
Mind you that you have a lot of difficulty levels. Sometimes there are these specialized missions for refueling or landing the plane. Exactly.
Mage Squadron, this is the situation. Golem and the other bases squadrons already joined forces and are engaged. You guys will arrive right in the middle of the action. Mage Squadron, eliminate all bandits in the current airspace. We have the upper hand, but that doesn't mean we can ease up. Good luck.
Mage 1, Wilco. Mage 1 to Golem 1, thank your lucky stars. Looking good, Mage Squadron. Keep up that pressure. Trigger time to show the other guys that we get wet wild and do dirty, dirty things. Once you hit one of them, stick to them like glue. Don't let them out of your sights even in the clouds. And so, your first hunting season begins. Enemy reinforcements. I don't like these odds. Break! Attacking. Watch on hostile. I can't!
Mage 2, bandit down. Excellent work.
As you can see, it's not very easy to actually land a hit with missiles. It's more difficult than you might think.
Target is in range of guns.
If you can't evade a missile, use chaff and flares. Your fingers should still move even if you're in a 9G turn. Friendly lost.
4 remaining.
We're getting our ass kicked. Where are our reinforcements? Gargoyle 2, fire, now. They got me.
3 remaining.
It's not as standard to fire just missiles and forget about it. You really need to control your environment in order to make them connect.
Clouds are screwing up the accuracy. We need reinforcements now! Enemy on my tail. I can't shake him. Missile fired. Evade it.
Of course, Sun with heat seekers, Sun will screw up your lock.
Nice kill.
1 remaining. Missile
See?
evaded.
They were able to evade my missiles quite easily. But that it doesn't mean that a missed missile really misses. It perturbs the enemy.
Behind me. That's your chance to take him out.
Roger that.
Our radar shows no sign of bandits. You're in the clear.
I haven't even broken a sweat.
Seems to be crazy to pick a fight with us. A rabid dog would know better.
Missile incoming. Evade. Break.
What the hell?
Caution, missile!
Caution. A large aircraft is approaching. All aircraft, stay alert.
Now, some say this will be the future of warfare right here.
We just learned that Eruzia is utilizing the Arsenal bird. Those bastards. They had that thing combat ready this whole time.
Enemy has a radar lock. Break, now!
Just waiting for mission.
We'll live through this, Trigger.
Bandits are fast as hell.
These guys are definitely a step above the last drones. These guys will go down easy.
Missile.
All aircraft. No change in game plan.
Missile.
arsenal bird.
But this that thing? God help us. It's hard enough just keeping up with the drones.
Golem Squadron, take out Big Baby Huey.
Dodging everything I throw at him.
Look at that light from the arsenal bird. What's going on here?
Yo, Golem 1, heads up. Check your six.
Golem 2, maintain elements. Golem 2, missile!
Let us find your own type. Golem 1, Commander. You got me!
Damn. Skeleton 1 lost. Skeleton 2, take over command.
Gargoyle Squadron, this is Gargoyle 1. Skeleton Squadron needs help.
As you can see,
Status?
Verifying the situation.
I can't get a lock.
Fire, Golem Squadron.
you cannot fire and hope for the best
Evading!
against air units with ground weaponry.
3, Golem 2's hit!
Simply doesn't work.
Shit, Golem 2, do you copy?
This is Golem 2. Instruments still appear to be functioning okay.
Skeleton 3, straight. Missile. We lost another friendly.
Skeleton 3's lost.
They just keep coming. What's the plan?
Where's that report?
Continue to maintain air superiority.
HQ, what's happening?
Skykeeper, I repeat, maintain air superiority.
How'd that happen?
What the hell? Caution. All aircraft, stay alert.
Get out of there.
Breaking!
Control throw. I'm breaking up.
Skeleton 2 lost.
And sometimes newer technologies come online, magnetic shields.
All
This is actually being studied in real life. A way to make missiles explode before hitting the target.
Chatter for the debriefing. Golem and Mage Squadron, give our allies some time to escape.
Wilco, but Golem 2's hit. Gotta send her back. Let's get dirty, Trigger.
Shoot down those UAVs. Don't let them touch any friendlies.
Golem 2, head back to base.
Gargoyle 1, escort Golem 2.
Continuing the mission. Still got my wings. Trigger doesn't need to fill in for me. I'm back and
You won't make any difference up here. Get back to base and cool your head.
Copy that. Returning home.
H2, UAV down.
This is where we'll be lost.
H2 locked.
Yowza!
UAV down. Retreating aircraft, leave the AO. Allies will hold off pursuit. Golem Squadron, Mage Squadron, hang in there and come back safe.
Not a boy, Mage 2. Just keep firing. The longer it takes, the worse our odds of getting out of here are. Machines don't get tired. That's it, Trigger. They're machines. Don't show them any mercy.
Mage Squadron, you're going toe-to-toe with the UAVs. Good work. More UAVs spotted. Gargoyle Squadron, they might cut off your retreat.
As you can see, they start to adapt to your flight maneuvering and how you pilot your own plane. The UAVs are intelligent, they'll adapt very quickly to your strategies.
Retreating aircraft.
So
Prepare for
be,
combat. It's a bogey.
well, as unpredictable as you can.
Attack.
One advantage. SU-30.
I was hitting every
Missile!
missile against the UAVs, now I can barely
Skykeeper.
lock them.
Gargoyle 1 lost.
What the hell? Golem 2, status report. Just talk to me.
I'm against an SU-30. Orange wingtips. I can't shake it off. It's matching me move for move.
Golem 2, stop dogfighting and run.
Let Golem and Mage Squadron handle it. They'll pull through.
Get your asses out. An ally's hit. Golem and Mage, move in to provide support.
Let's move. They're ours.
Missile incoming.
Don't try to match the maneuverability of the UAVs. Simply will not work.
Does main squadron still have their hot shots? Then we just might make it out. No look back, just have faith. Column and Mage, we owe you a jet. We'll pay you.
Not on my watch. UAV confirmed down. Mage 2, provide cover for Allied retreat.
A few seconds till you might get to them. Hurry up. I know. All we can do is fly away as fast as we can.
Mage 2, UAV down. Keep it up, buddy.
Fort Gray's aircraft. We'll let you take it easy next time.
Don't fly too long inside clouds, or you'll end up freezing your wings and falling to the ground really fast.
This is not good. Brody, break off. Don't think, focus. Hell of a good job, Mage 2. We want as many guys out here as possible.
I'm grateful you're around.
Golem 2, what's your status? Status report.
He's a predator. The weak get eaten.
Golem 2, get a hold of yourself. Golem 2, get away from the enemy.
Mage 2, support! Somebody! Support!
Story-wise, you start as being Trigger, a pilot from the Osea Air Force,
Taking on multiple UAVs.
and then the story goes from there. I'm not going to spoil the story for you guys. It's a very good story, really enthralling for a dogfighting game, for a simulator game. It's a very good story. It will really catch your imagination. Top Gun wise, almost.
Missile away.
Minus Tom Cruise, of course. But I think we can make do without that.
He's mine. He's not getting away.
Got a lock on me.
Mage 2, move to support. Other aircraft are in trouble. All UAVs have been splashed.
I said what I had to say. About what? Not a girl who'd retreat. Just not in her DNA. That was the right decision at the time. No, I should have never let a fledgling like her out of my reach to begin with.
Golem Squadron, Mage Squadron, withdraw.
Apparently the United States and a couple of other nations are already studying ships like this for future warfare.
Mage 2, we have you on radar. You are cleared for approach. Runway is clear. Mage 2, you are cleared for landing. 3,000 to runway. Your approach looks good. Stay on course. Mage 2, lower speed. Perfect, Mage 2. I knew you'd be back. Stand by for further orders. Be ready for your next sortie.
At the end,
Mage Squadron.
we always have review of what we did in the mission, both tactically and visually. Now, music-wise and sound-wise, this game also is on cue.
Unfortunately, the two
A very
offensive-
Bandai Namco
The
type of
aircraft
music,
carrier
of course.
S-12 was sunk
A
during
very
the attack on
Japanese
Thunderbolt.
type of gaming music.
Aircraft mistakenly bombed urban areas, and this
But
has turned
as
out
for
with
the dialogues and all,
against us.
it's very good.
Our own forces also suffered heavy losses. If it weren't for a few extraordinary situation is
Well, final evaluation. Now, I've actually tested multiplayer, but for the love of me, I couldn't find a multiplayer session still running. As for VR, yeah, I don't have a VR glass to test this with, or the PlayStation camera required to play. Also, you're going to have to use expert controls. I recommend having a real joystick compatible with the PlayStation 4 in order to play with the PlayStation VR and PlayStation camera. PlayStation Store wise, what we have available there: no expansions, no DLCs, just more planes to download. Okay. A lot more planes that aren't available in game to start with will be there waiting for you for a very small fee, like €3 or something like that. It's not a theft. Final review of this game. So I'm gonna give it a solid 9. Okay, this game is, although it's an older game, it still goes toe to toe with Starfighter from Star Wars from last winter. I'm going to give it a solid 9. I gave it 10 to Starfighter, but Starfighter is still being developed. There's still content being launched, and it's still being updated. This game stopped being updated quite a long time ago. So, a solid 9. If you guys have the chance, get it on sale, because it's still a very expensive game to acquire at full price. I think it's 79 euros on the European branch. I think it's more or less $80 when it's not on sale on the US. So get it on sale. Don't give it full price for it. I'll leave it with a 9 out of 10. Very solid game, very good game. Get it if you can. So I'll see you guys next week for the next review, and stay safe and play on.